Hi everyone, it's Tina. I haven't been on video for a long time, so it's going to take me a little bit of getting used to doing it again, but I'm back and I have time and I want to show you what I've been doing. You were asking a few questions about my stamps that I had made, and so I thought I would explain to you how I made them with less than the ingredients that I needed. I improvised. So I'm going to show you. So these are for the stamp swap that Roxy's putting on, and I figured I could do this, and then once I had agreed to do it, I realized that half of the things that I needed were still down in Canada, and I am no longer living in Canada. So I moved what I thought I would use up here, and I thought, oh, I can do this, no problem. But I managed. I did it, and if you put your mind to it, you certainly can do it. So these are what I used, and I didn't have those pinking shears, which I do back home, but I don't have them here. So I actually went through my dies, and I found one that was a stamp die. So I will show you that. It's just a thinlit die that I put through my Big Shot. Some of these little tiny, some of this is paper and some of this is the actual background paper. I just went along with the theme on the paper. This is also a die, a thin lit die, but it came from a set that I hadn't really thought about using. I have a bit of a love of trees, so I have a lot of thin lit dies in different styles for trees. This little stamp, this is an interesting stamp because I have just a regular postage stamp at home, but I do not have it here, so I didn't think of bringing that. But I did find a background stamp that had one or two on the corner, and so I'll show you how I inked those just to get that. Give me 1 second, I will get all the ingredients that I used. So I think a little while ago Roxy showed everybody that she was keeping her dies in these little, let me move out a little bit. She was keeping her dies in these little books that we found online. Well, they work great. They're heavy, but they work great. And yes, I keep all my dies in it too. I have yet to get them sorted so that like dies are in the same one. I just kind of put them in quickly so that I could get up here to Alaska and not have them loose. And so the one that I used for creating this image, which was the stamped, it looks just like the edge of a stamp. It came with other things, and I honestly don't remember. I don't keep mine together. I keep them sorted in a way that works for me, not necessarily for anybody else. But I have a lot of dies that I bought online. So this is how I keep my dies. And Roxy's shown you how she's done hers. So that was the outer edge of this die, the stamp die. And things like this little banner came from a stamp set that I had. This stamp set here, or not stamp set, die set. And so I took this little stamp, why do I keep saying stamp? I took this little banner and improvised to use it because it fit on that size that I was doing. So you can see that I used some of these characters too, and I used this tree. And I just basically cut those out of paper and inked them if I had to, if I didn't have the right color. The silver bells, that's on some of mine as well. And then same with this, I took apart this die, and you'll see it on one of my samples, is Santa and his sled. I did it in silver, but I basically trimmed off what I didn't want out of this image and just used the Santa and the sled with his deer. So in this one, you can see I just took off what I wanted and used that stamp. Right. Stamp. Okay, get to stamp so I can start saying stamp for the right reason. This, I told you I didn't have my proper stamp with me, so this was all I could find. And it is a travel image, background image. And so this little part here was what I used for most of these little characters. But what I did was I basically used my dauber and my ink, and I just rubbed it on that spot and then dabbed this onto wherever it was that I wanted it, what corner I wanted it, and it didn't give me a whole lot. You'll see sometimes that this clock came into it, but as I got better at it, doing more and more of them, I was able to just ink up the area that I wanted. So it's a way to use up what you have. You've got images on background stamps that you just want a portion of it, just ink up a portion of it and use that randomly on your images. Anyways, so these were a few just little tricks that I used, and some of the, I'm using up all of the paperwork that I have. This was just one random piece of paper. I'm not even sure who it's by, but it's a random pinks. I love pinks and blues for Christmas, but I did do some traditional as well because I know everybody likes traditional Christmas colors. And that was just a little 6x6 pad, and these were little cutouts. And so I used those because they were the perfect size to give me an image for this project. But all of these little houses and things like that, those are all die cuts that I have, and I just snipped up what I wanted to use. So just because you don't have something doesn't mean you can't do it. That's all I'm trying to say, is use what you've got, create what you can, and have fun. All right, bye guys.